Atlas Assistance Dog. What is Atlas Assistance Dogs? Atlas Assistance Dogs is an ADI accredited owner training program for people that want to train their own dogs. They are actually really cool. They service all over the United States, and I believe I saw one trainer in Brazil. So how does it work? When you apply, it takes 2 weeks for them to go through your pre-application, and then they will say if they will send you an email after those 2 weeks once they make their decision on if you are a possible candidate or not. Then they will send you a secondary email with another application. You fill that out. You do a introduction meeting with someone, and then you do a secondary introduction to your actual trainer that if you get accepted into the program, they will be the one helping you train your dog. And then after that, during that meeting, you will set up a time to go and get an assessment done. And after that is when you will officially be in the program or not in the program. And the reason I really like it is it's $900. You get an ADI certification, so it's a lot less money than most training programs of getting a ADI accreditation. So like Weller, if he graduates from this program, he could go to different countries. Like my mom wants to go to Italy. If he goes through this program, he would be able to go to Italy easier. Because not every country allows owner-trained service dogs. Bringing an owner-trained service dog somewhere outside of the U.S. is difficult. It's not impossible, but it is significantly harder to bring an owner-trained dog from the U.S. to a different country. All goes into this. So first off, you have to do the pre-application. And when I sent mine in, we're in Knoxville, Tennessee. Our closest person, the closest facilitator, is in Asheville, North Carolina. It's only like a 2.5, 3-hour drive. It's not horrible. I used to drive 5 hours every weekend from Midway, Kentucky to North Georgia, Calhoun area. So 3 hours to me, not a huge deal. So I applied because I knew it wasn't a big deal. And they reached out and they made sure that it was a drive that I would be able to make, because part of the ADI accreditation is they are required to meet with the trainer. We are required to meet with the trainer 2 times a month for a minimum of 6 months. Atlas says that their average time is about 9 months though. So don't do it going, I'm going to do it in 6 months. That's the soonest you can complete it. And by completing it, I mean learning 3 tasks minimum. Which, I learned this when we had our introduction meeting, our first introduction meeting. 3 tasks, like Weller's deep pressure therapy is great. However, other times it's not. So that's one of his tasks. That counts as a task that he can do, that counts as one of his 3 tasks, is us fine-tuning one of his minimum 3 tasks would be fine-tuning his deep pressure therapy. So that's what I really liked them, is they reached out, made sure that it was going to be a thing that I could do before they even approved me. Like, she hadn't even emailed me to say, oh, here's our full application, or sorry, we can't offer you anything at this time. She was like, hey, is this a thing that you think you could do? And I was like, sure. And she went, okay, great. And then when we got our second application, that's when it started getting more in depth. They asked for a health report from me, and that can either they'll tell you which one they need, is either a mental health specialist or just like a medical, just like your primary care doctor. It just depends on what you're claiming your disability is. And then you'll just go to the doctor and have your doctor fill out one of those forms. And then Weller also had to go to the vet and get his form filled out. And since I would like to do weight-bearing mobility on him, like very minimally, I want to do small amounts of weight-bearing mobility on him. They require that both his hips and his elbows get x-rayed, which they already have. They have, I think his hips got x-rayed. So I just need to get his elbows x-rayed at some point, which is like $400, which is why I didn't do it then, because I was like, oh, that's a lot of money, I don't have that. I mean, I had it, but it was like, that was going to rent. And then you have to send in 3 videos. One video of them walking back and forth with the dog. Out video is you running a brush down them, running a towel, picking up all of their feet, looking at their teeth, looking in their ears, just showing that you can do that, grabbing their tail, like just stuff like that. And then after that, you submit that, and then you'll get an email about scheduling a meeting with, I met with Molly, and we went over any questions that I had, expectations, stuff like that, whether they do payment plans or not, anything like that. Because $900 isn't a lot of money in regards of dog training. However, it is a lot of money at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of money to just cough up at once. But also, they split up the $900. Like, I paid $25 to do the second application. And now I'm paying $100 to go and do the assessment. And then it's $600 for the actual training. So it's like, it's split up. It's not straight up $900. But still, $600 is more than I can afford to just cough up in total, right then and there. So they can't offer payment plans. They can split it up into like 2, I think she said. And also included in that $900 is a public access test, which is needed for the ADI certification. I think it's like $175 or something. And you also pay for like the recert, like a year later, I think, in that $900. So you're paying for like basically 2 years of public access training. Now, their requirements for the dogs, when at the time of applying, you have to have a Canine Good Citizen within a year, which when I found this back in November, Weller didn't have his Canine Good Citizen. So that was our first task, was we immediately found Canine Good Citizen, and once we got all of our paperwork back from that, then we could apply. Because you are required to upload it at the end. It's not like the second application where you can email the people the other documents. You have to put them in the application itself. So the dogs they have to have their CGC within a month of applying. They have to be 14 months old at least, but they also can't be older than 8. They can't have any unresolved behavioral issues like separation anxiety. You can't have that. And you also have to be okay to train your dog using non-aversive training methods, which Weller has been trained in the past with like prong collars, e-collars, martingales. He had a gentle leader, and that's why we've been weaning him off the gentle leader. I don't know if I've said that before in any of my videos, but I did say in the Georgia Aquarium video that I took his gentle leader off halfway through, because I knew that this was a thing that we were going to be doing, and I knew he couldn't have his gentle leader on for it. And that's all I have. We're actually really excited for this. I think it's going to be great. I hope we get accepted. But also, this is great knowledge just to have in case you want to go travel with your service dog places and you don't have an ADI accreditation or certification for your dog, like go to other countries. This is great. It does take a lot of time and a lot of effort, but so does training your own service dog. So